warehouse you're storing the barrels. But what I would say here is that in my view, the influence of the finishing and the secondary barrel and the influence of the wine type is probably much more pronounced than the rather subtle differences you might get from place to place in the warehouses. And, you know, I always use this slightly tongue-in-cheek comparison here, that the climate in Scotland is terrible wherever you go, so we don't tend to get the same variations that other distillers in other countries get. Guess what? It's cool and damp everywhere in Scotland.
So I think that's all the questions from you, Munich. Thanks very much, and I would like to hand over to Paris.
Thanks,
Thank you, Munich.
Thank you.
So good evening, Paris. Do you have any questions for Dr. Bill?
Hello, good evening. I'm Daniel from Paris. Just I want to ask you, I know we are just discovering now the Bacalta, but can you give us a few tips or maybe a direction about the next Cuvette edition next year?
That's keen, I will say.
Yeah.
Very, very enthusiastic to ask already about what's next. But Bill?
Yep, okay. Bonsoir, Paris. I'm highly amused to see that Brendan has thrown that hot potato over to myself to answer. Of course, with the very nature of these products, we're working on a pipeline of new editions each year. So we have the next 4 to 5 years worth of private edition products already under development. I don't like to commit too early to which product will be available in any one year, so that can change a little bit. You know, I don't want to disappoint people by giving away the surprise at this stage. Brendan and I are fairly certain as to what next year's private edition will be, and the only thing I'm going to say about it is that it's completely different from the first 8 we've done, and you'll have to wait and see apart from that. I'm sorry, I'd love to share more with you, but you know, we want to keep you in suspense for a little bit longer.
Personally, I'm glad you didn't share any more than that, Bill. I got nervous slightly. So we have another question, yeah?
Hi, from Paris again. I do have a question on where your inspiration comes from for choosing the casks. And do you work alone, Bill, or do you work with a team of women and men for choosing those?
Yeah, again, it's a very good question. And the simple answer to that is that the inspiration for these products can come from all sorts of different directions. Some of you in the audience will already know me and know that I'm a huge fan of wine. I have my own wine cellar, which is alongside my vast whiskey collection in my home in Scotland. So I enjoy wine, I study wine, I try lots of different wines. So I get inspiration from that. And you know, to give you examples, private edition 3, I used Sassicaia wine cask from Italy. Private edition 5, Companta, I used Burgundy cask from the mighty Clos de Tart vineyard in Burgundy. So that's one avenue where we get inspiration. I work with my team. You know, Brendan is, if you like, my right-hand man. We've got some ladies in the team, Gillian and Bryony, who run the laboratory. So we get together and we just have conversations. And you know, sometimes an idea will fall out of a conversation. And I know sometimes people don't quite believe me when I say this, but I'm an insomniac. I don't sleep very well, but I have very vivid dreams every night. And sometimes something as personal as a dream can lead to the idea and creation of a new product. And again, if I go back to last year, private edition number 7, Glenmorangie Milchen, the inspiration of that was my growing up with my late grandmother and the type of candy sweets she used to give me. So there's no limit as to where the ideas come from. And the biggest challenge Brendan and I face is actually reining in our creativity and channeling it into something that we can still legally call Scotch whisky. Is that fair to say, Brendan?
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. There's absolutely inspiration even from going out to meals together as a team, from food, from what people are doing differently with food. There's just so many places that you take inspiration from. But like you say, it's putting it into action that's the challenge. So do we have any more questions in Paris?
So I think maybe, are we going back to
okay for us,
London?
thank you. It's okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Paris. Thank you, Paris. So I think we're actually going to go back to London now. So come in, London.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Phil, it's Christian Davis here. I just wondered if you've been to Tokai recently.
Now, Christian, obviously, you know me very well and I know you very well, and that's such a leading question. I've been to many good wine producing areas throughout the world, and I don't want to be any more specific than that. But you know, Christian, that one of my biggest bugbears was the fact that I purchased barrels from Tokai many years ago. I suspect long before any other Scotch whisky producers did. And, you know...
Could you just bring to life what Tokai is, just in case anyone's unsure?
Tokai, a very famous, rich, sweet, sticky dessert wine from Hungary. It was one of these experiments, Christian, where I left the Glenmorangie whiskey in the barrels for too long and let the influence of the European oak and the Tokai wine dominate. So I'm being very evasive here and kind of dancing about actually specifically answering your question. But suffice to say, in any one given year, I'll visit many different wine producing areas, and we'll see what falls out of that in the future.
So I was going to say, Christian, does that answer your question? But that's a risky thing to say after that answer. Oh, he's gone.
Good evening, gentlemen. Another question from London.
Good evening.
If there is such a thing as a breakfast whiskey, perhaps the Glenmorangie Classic is that whiskey. You are so detailed in terms of your vision for whiskey creation, and in fact we've learnt that you have vivid dreams. Do you have a concept of a time and a place for the enjoyment of the private edition?
Okay, I'm guessing that's Simon's dulcet tones there. Yeah, it's funny.
Excellent perception skills, Dr. Bilazol.
I often say my sense of sight and sound is not usually that good. I focus it all in nosing and tasting, but I guessed it was you, Simon. Yeah, interesting you should mention that, because you may remember a limited release we had quite a number of years ago, the Glenmorangie Margaux wood finish, and such were the flavours from that which made me think of jams and marmalades and such like, that we actually launched that product in New York City at a very famous restaurant, and we launched it at breakfast time. So that was very much targeted as a breakfast time whiskey. But you know, I like to think I'm quite open-minded. So I don't actually have a specific time or place where I choose to enjoy my whiskies. I like to think that, you know, it really just does depend on your mood. And as you know, Simon, I often joke and say that Glenmorangie Original is the perfect whiskey to have with your breakfast, with your porridge, because it has such a delicate flavour. You know, the very style of whiskey that Glenmorangie is, it lends itself to be, it's very versatile, and you can have it in all sorts of different situations. But I would say, and you know, I'm going back to the La Santa now, it's very rich and very powerfully flavoured. So perhaps it's more of an evening whiskey, whereas the original, you can have it any time of the day. And I would personally think that the Madeira, and again, I'm basing this on my many visits to the island of Madeira, where I enjoyed many lunches, which started at 12 noon and finished about 7 p.m. So to me, this is the ideal type of whiskey to have with a very long al fresco lunch in the sunshine somewhere, which kind of rules out Scotland, I guess.
Yeah. And I've been lucky enough, Bill very generously has given me a bottle of Bacalta when production first started, and I intend to have it alone.
Is that because you've got no friends, Brendan?
No comment. So, unfortunately, I can't answer that, Bill. Is there any more questions in London?
Any more?
I think we're good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Emily.
Our pleasure.
So, first of all, from me, I just want to say thank you to everyone in London, in Munich, in Paris for your time, for your amazing questions. And I really hope you enjoyed this experience and this whiskey as much as I have. And probably final words, Bill.
Yep, just wrap things up by saying, ladies and gents, thank you all so much for giving us the opportunity to enthuse about Glenmorangie whiskies, and in particular to introduce you to Glenmorangie Bacalta. I know some of you will have enjoyed Sonalta, Finalta, Artane, Ilanta, Companta, Tusail, and Milshin. So if you enjoyed all of these and enjoyed Bacalta, then please look forward to next year's release and the ones after that. There's plenty good, innovative things happening in the Glenmorangie company, and we look forward to sharing them with you in the years to come. So thank you all very much indeed. And Slanjiva.